Hey guys, Jared Morris here from Marketing Mavens. Today I wanted to make a video for you showing you just how easy it is to split test your Infusionsoft campaign sequences and to have it all set up in 2, maybe 3 minutes on one of our free accounts of Parsey. So before we dive into the mechanics of the funnel and split testing it, let's talk about the big picture here. So this is a drawing of what Infusionsoft calls the perfect customer lifecycle. And you can see there are different stages of the funnel. And you know what we're going to do is I want you to draw your attention to the second line here. For our purposes today, I'm going to use that line to define front end versus back end. And anytime we get a new customer, one of the first things we do is we look at their core offers, their core funnels, and we look at where improvements can be made to make more money. Now, mechanically speaking, there are usually 2 main ways that you can make more money in a funnel like the one you see here. You can either, 1, increase ad spend, or your front end, you know, the number of people coming through the top of the funnel, you can push more people through that funnel, or amidst the funnel as they're receiving marketing messages and being nurtured and educated about your offer, you can do a better job at converting the existing number of people that go through. You know, our personal take on tackling funnels and maximizing, you know, the revenue that they can generate is we like to work on the conversion side first, and the reason why is because it's mainly sweat equity that goes into it. And then we know once we've really got everything dialed in and it's squeezing every last penny that it can, we feel great about boosting ad spend because we know a dollar that used to produce $1.25 is now producing $1.75 or $2. So the ROI has been increased, and we feel great about putting that money in because we know what's gonna pump out at the other side. So so let's real quick. So in another video, I think we're gonna have to do a part 2 on this, or even maybe a 3-part video on this whole process. But you know, you can again generate interest. You can spend more money in your pay-per-click ads, in your Facebook ads, in your direct mail, and whatever it may be. You certainly can increase that. On the front end of things, you can do things to optimize your landing page, your offer, your messaging, the hook, everything. You can do things on the front end before they ever get into your system to generate more people, to produce more people coming through the top of that funnel than what you currently have. But today, the focus is going to be on once we capture that person's information and we're putting them into an Infusionsoft campaign, how do we fine-tune that campaign and the sequences in that campaign to make sure that we're getting the very most we can. So with that in mind, let me actually come back to this sequence here. I'm going to take a step higher. We're going to take a look at the campaign view. It's very simple in nature. We have an opt-in where they're basically opting in to view a pre-recorded demo of the software. When they opt in, they get a series of emails that are kind of just spaced out here. And if they purchase at any point in time, this sequence will essentially end if they purchase the software that we're promoting and marketing in this sequence. So it's pretty straightforward. Now, what if you wanted to split test subject lines? What if you wanted to split test body content? What if you wanted to split test maybe the first line, which most email clients show about, you know, the first X number of characters. So that's kind of also a hook to get them to open the email and actually begin to read it. So there are a lot of different things you can split test. You can split test the order of things. You can split test your calls to action, you know, how aggressive you are in the sales messaging about asking for the sale or asking to take some type of action. Now, it's really tempting when you start split testing to test a lot of things at once. And while you can do multivariate testing, most people, you got to be pretty experienced and have a really good base to be able to dive into that. I highly recommend you choose a single variable because if you're testing 2 or 3 things all at the same time and you see a boost in conversion or you see a serious drop in conversion, if you've changed 3 different variables, there's no way to easily pinpoint what impacted that change. So I always recommend choosing a single variable. So you could do something as simple as subject line. Hey, I'm going to optimize my subject lines and get the very best conversion I can. Once you find winners for all of those subject lines, you could then go in and say, you know what, all right, this is awesome. So my opens are really high. Clicks have boosted a little because I now have more opens, so therefore I am going to have more clicks, but I didn't get like a significant boost in clicks. So now, after you've done your initial split testing, you could go back and you could basically say, all right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in and I'm going to edit all the body content. I'm going to do a second version of that and see which emails are kind of the best messaging, right? So that's really how easy it is. I'll talk about measuring it later on here, but let's talk about how do you build that? What do you do in Infusionsoft? What do you do in Parsey? Is it really that easy? And the answer is yes. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually delete, disconnect this guy here and just kind of move it over to the side for now. And we'll drag over another sequence and we'll just call this guy post to Parsey split test. There we go. And we'll connect this guy and we'll come over here, and what we'll do is we don't need a delay timer or anything. We're just going to basically send a post, and I'll go into Parsey here to my webhook parsers, and I'll create a new one. This is a brand new account in Parsey, by the way, so it would look pretty similar to what you're doing here. So core offer and split test. Awesome. So you can see it's waiting to receive a webhook. I'm just going to copy this URL and come back into here, and I'm going to put it right there. And all you need, guys, you can leave this contact ID. That's all we need. Okay, then I'll just mark this guy to ready and go back to my sequence. I want to make sure I also include the initial opt-in tag here. Save that guy, mark this to ready, go back to our campaign, and I'll go ahead and publish. Once that's published, I want to run a test and actually send a post to Parsey. Once I've done that, I can come in and actually refresh here. And we'll see that Parsey is now receiving our webhooks. So I'll come over and I'll edit the fields. I'm just going to check the contact ID. That's the only one that I passed. And I'll say configure actions. Sync up to Infusionsoft here. Now if I haven't added an Infusionsoft account, I'd be able to create one on the fly. I've already have one in here from other testing. And then I'll just say that as far as duplication method, I want to identify an existing contact by looking for the contact ID, and then I'll just pass this to the contact ID. There we go. And I'll save the contact. So that's going to make sure I'm updating the correct contact. Then from this list of options here, the one I want to choose is apply tag optional ratio. So we'll search for our first tag, which is going to be the core offer control, and then we'll also split it into our core offer competitor. And then we're just going to adjust these ratios. Ideally, we'll split it 50-50. You can see here that you can add as many tags as you want. Just make sure that your ratio, as you divvy up these contacts to be applied with unique tags, always adds up to 100%, and you're good to go. So I'll click on Save Tags. And that's really it on the Parsey configuration side. Then I'm going to come back into Infusionsoft, go into edit mode here, and I'm going to do something really fun here. So what I'll do is I'm going to hold Control and then click on this guy and drag it down. That's going to create a cloned copy of my sequence. And I think from a label standpoint, just so I'm aware, I'll just adjust these guys real quick. And then we need to add some goals as far as how they get into here. So I'll just bring over this tag goal here, connect, and another one, and connect. Properly label all of this stuff. And we'll make sure that we choose those tags. Core offer control, save, and then our competitor, and save. Okay, great. And then this guy, you do have to go in and actually open these up and save each one in order for it to be fully ready. And then the one other thing, don't forget, you're going to actually want to swap out the tags that are being applied so that you can see the clicks. So I dial into each email and adjust the tags to be, the same name but maybe competitor or number 2 appended to it, and then I'll be able to measure which tags are being applied, which ones are getting more clicks, more opens, and whatnot. So then I'll just come, let me throw this in ready mode, even though it's not fully ready, and then you would publish. So again, from a high-level perspective, once this guy is published here, here's the process flow. They opt in to view the webinar. They get tagged. They also, an HTTP post is sent over to Parsey. Once Parsey receives it, it has the correct contact ID to then apply a tag, one of these tags, to an inbound contact. So at 50-50, it's basically going to switch off. If you have 100 people come through here, you're going to roughly have 50 of each tag applied. When those tags get applied, it then puts them down your control, your core sequence, or it'll throw them down the variable sequence you've created to test against and see which one competes. And then don't forget to connect to the same goal here. That way your sequence is stopped when the goal is achieved. Alright, so in our next video, we'll go over how you can easily compare the statistics of the two sequences, find out which emails in each sequence are outperforming the other, and create the ultimate killer sequence that converts like crazy. So stick with us. In the meantime, go ahead and head on over to Parsey.com. If you haven't already created your free account, you can do so right from the homepage. Click on the sign up for free button and get registered today. Thanks so much.